The author of Crime and Punishment is Fyodor Dostoevsky, who is a world-class writer, novelist, critic, and thinker representing Russian literature in the 19th century. He drew the inner psychology of a man who was politically and socially complex in an independent way called realism of the soul. He reflected in his works the political contradictions of Russia, in which the former order was broken and capitalism entered, and deeply influenced thought and literature in the 20th century. His representative works include Notes from the Underground, Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, The Possessed, and The Brothers Karamazov. Fyodor Dostoevsky was born on October 30, 1821, as the second son of a military Dostoevsky. His father worked at a Moscow slum hospital and was brutally strict. Unlike a mother of religious and gentle nature, the images of a cruel father greatly influenced Dostoevsky as well. So the fathers in his work are incompetent, cruel, and tyrannical to force their children to sell out on the streets, to be killed by their children or to themselves as physical, mental, and even sexual tyrants to their children. Crime and Punishment tells the story of the murder or of a young man in the 9th century in Saint Petersburg, Russia, where the serfs were obliged. The characters are Rodya, Sonia, Doencha, and so on. As I read Crime and Punishment, I learned some words like lodge means to make an official complaint about something, and landlady is a woman who is paid rent by people for the use of room, building, or piece of land that she owns. And I look up the meanings of these words in Cambridge Dictionary. To sum up this novel, after dropping out of college due to poverty, Rodya rents a small room that looks like an attic on the top of a 5-story house. Because he was poor, he often stopped by the pawn shop to check in his watches and cigarette cases. Its owner, Alyona, is a ruthless old landlady who takes the interest seriously. Rodya, who has a grudge against her and decides to kill her. He hears about his daughter Sonia by knowing Semyon, a retired officer he met at a pub. Sonia becomes a prostitute for the livelihood of poor families and makes money at the expense of herself. He happens to know the time when the old woman is alone after hearing the story of Alyona in the market, and thinks it is an opportunity to kill the old woman. Finally, that day, he comes to the pawn shop with an axe to kill the old woman. He pretended to have come to borrow money, and it happened the moment the old woman went to the next room. He committed murder and ran away without knowing the door was open. In the meantime, he did not forget to steal money. Rodya was told that Marmeladov was dead. He is closely connected to his family by giving his mother 25 ruble, which he had a hard time transferring to Marmeladov for funeral expenses. Dunetaka, the sister of Rodya, finds out about her brother's opposition and the snobbery of Hartry and gets closer to his close friend Razumikin, and this time Arkady, who came to St. Petersburg after her, teases her that he loves her. Unhappily, upon hearing the story of Sonia and Rodya, Svidrigailov was conceived. He was the culprit, and he tried to use it as a pretext to exert power on him. Rodya turned himself in several times, but each time a different suspect appears and eventually loses his chance. But in the end, in Sonya's earnest wish, he turned himself in and left for Siberia. Sonya also leaves for Siberia to his beloved Roja and delivers the news to his friend Razumikhin once a month. Almost everyone who has sinned in this novel was punished. So I think